What if everything you've been told about the Egyptian Book of the Dead was wrong? Imagine dying tonight. You open your eyes expecting peace. Instead, you're standing alone in complete darkness. Strange creatures are watching you. Massive gates block your path. Invisible judges are waiting for your answers. One wrong word, one failed test, and your soul is erased forever. Now here's the shocking part. Ancient Egyptians believed this wasn't mythology. They believed this would actually happen to every single person after death, and that's exactly why they created one of history's most misunderstood books, despite its famous name. The Egyptian Book of the Dead was never really about death. It was a guidebook, a survival manual, a collection of secret passwords, magical spells, maps, and instructions designed to help ordinary people survive one of the most terrifying journeys imaginable. It wasn't written for archaeologists. It wasn't written as literature. It was written for someone who expected to use it, including, perhaps, you. And once you discover what was actually inside these ancient scrolls, you'll never look at ancient Egypt the same way again. For centuries, people imagined the Book of the Dead as a dark book filled with curses and funeral rituals. Hollywood certainly didn't help. The title alone makes it sound like a manual for the dead. But here's the twist. Ancient Egyptians never called it that. Its original name was much closer to the Book of Coming Forth by Day. Think about that. Not Book of Death, not Book of the Dead. Coming forth, returning into the light. The goal wasn't staying dead. The goal was surviving death. Every copy was handmade. No two books were exactly alike. Some were only a few pages long. Others stretched for dozens of meters. Rich nobles commissioned elaborate illustrated papyrus scrolls. Poorer Egyptians could only afford a handful of essential spells. Some even left blank spaces where the owner's name would later be inserted, almost like buying a customized passport before your final journey. Because that's exactly what these texts were. Travel documents for eternity. To modern people, death is the end. To the Egyptians, death was simply immigration into another world. But entering that world wasn't automatic. The afterlife was dangerous, extremely dangerous. Imagine traveling alone through an enormous supernatural kingdom. Every road contained traps. Every doorway demanded passwords. Every guardian wanted proof that you belonged. Some beings had crocodile heads. Others breathed fire. Some were giant snakes stretching across rivers of darkness. Others existed only to trap lost souls forever. Without preparation, you wouldn't survive. This is where the Book of the Dead became essential. Each spell served a specific purpose. One protected you from snakes. Another prevented your heart from betraying you. Others allowed you to breathe underwater, turn into a falcon, become a lotus flower, escape demons, or pass safely through terrifying gates. To us, these transformations sound symbolic. To ancient Egyptians, they were practical survival tools. Magic wasn't fantasy. Magic was technology, and every spell increased your chances of reaching eternal life. One of the strangest parts of the Book of the Dead sounds almost unbelievable. Passwords, lot of them. Imagine approaching a gigantic golden gate. A towering guardian blocks your path. He doesn't ask for your name. He asks for the secret name of the gate itself. Then, the name of its lock, its hinges, its floor, its guardian. Get even one answer wrong, and you're not entering. Many chapters in the Book of the Dead are essentially collections of these supernatural security questions. Why? Because Egyptians believed names contained power. Knowing a being's true name meant understanding its essence. Knowledge became protection. Ignorance became destruction. It wasn't enough to be good. You had to be prepared. The afterlife rewarded wisdom just as much as morality. Before we continue, if you're enjoying uncovering the hidden secrets of ancient Egypt, take a second to like the video and subscribe. It really helps the channel. and you'll never miss the next forgotten mystery from one of history's greatest civilizations. Now, let's continue the journey into the Egyptian afterlife. The Egyptian afterlife wasn't peaceful. It was terrifying. One moment you could be sailing across celestial rivers. The next, a monstrous serpent rises from the darkness. Then came demons carrying knives, creatures with multiple heads, invisible spirits waiting to confuse travelers. Some beings tried stealing your shadow. Others wanted your name. Some attempted to trap your soul forever. One wrong encounter, and eternity was over. The Book of the Dead anticipated these dangers. Its spells instructed exactly what to say, when to remain silent, when to invoke specific gods, when to transform into birds or divine beings to escape impossible situations. It wasn't simply religion. It was strategy, a carefully designed survival system built over thousands of years of belief. Eventually, every soul reached the Hall of Judgment. This was the moment everything depended on, standing before 42 divine judges. Your entire life would be examined. At the center sat Osiris. Nearby stood Anubis, and beside them waited one of mythology's most terrifying creatures, Ammit, part crocodile, part lion, part hippopotamus. She wasn't there to punish you. She was there to erase you. Then came the ultimate test. Your heart was placed on one side of a giant scale. On the other rested the feather of Ma'at, the symbol of truth, justice, balance. The Egyptians believed your heart recorded every action you had ever taken. Nothing could be hidden, nothing forgotten. If your heart remained balanced, you passed. If it proved heavier, Ammit devoured it. No heaven, no second chance, no reincarnation. You simply ceased to exist. For an Egyptian, that fate was worse than death itself. Here's something incredibly strange. The Egyptians feared their own hearts, not because they stopped beating, because they believed the heart could speak. Imagine standing before divine judges, only for your own heart to confess every lie, every betrayal, every selfish act. So the Book of the Dead included one of its most famous spells, a plea directed toward your own heart. Do not testify against me. Do not betray me. Remain silent before the judges. Think about that. The greatest enemy wasn't always a monster. Sometimes it was yourself. Modern readers often assume these texts were written because Egyptians feared dying. The evidence suggests something much deeper. They feared being unprepared. Life was temporary. The journey afterward was forever. Preparation mattered. Knowledge mattered. Character mattered. The Book of the Dead wasn't simply magic. It combined morality, ritual, memory, identity, and hope. Its pages taught Egyptians that surviving eternity required both wisdom and virtue. You couldn't simply cheat the system. You had to understand it. That idea helped shape Egyptian civilization for more than 1,000 years. The next time someone calls the Egyptian Book of the Dead a book about death, remember this. It wasn't written to explain dying. It was written to teach people how to survive what came next. To the ancient Egyptians, death wasn't the destination. It was the beginning of the most dangerous journey imaginable. Every spell, every illustration, every mysterious password was another step toward eternal life. And perhaps that's why this remarkable book still fascinates us thousands of years later, because deep down, humanity has always asked the same question: what happens after we die?